I don't know if you guys want to take this with a grain of salt, if you will, but, recently, very recently, if not today, I should say, just about 20-something minutes ago, a half hour ago, one of the forums that I go on, called Sonic Stadium, someone provided a link, and I'll provide a link to the section to where I found this link. And you have to scroll down and see exactly what I'm talking about. I know it sounds confusing, but you kind of get the idea that you have to go to this link to scroll down and go to the link I'm talking about. But apparently this individual who, until you see their name, until you see who they are, is going to remain anonymous. But this individual apparently, I guess, has some, how do you put it, inside connections, I guess you could say, to what's going on with the comic. What I mean is, when you take a look at it, because it kind of throws me off a little bit, but apparently they have some, how do I put this? They have some behind-the-scenes information. Let's just put it that way. Basically, they basically have comic pages in their rough draft clean line format. Before they're colored in and all that. Basically, the fine line art of the comic pages, of the panels and stuff. Well, this individual kind of brought something up very, very interesting, and the individual at Sonic Stadium that provided this link brought up something very interesting as well. You see, we all know that with the recent settlement going on, this whole lawsuit and settlement that's going on between Ken Penders and Archie Comics and so on and so forth, that a lot of things have changed. But recently we have noticed, according to some people, that something good may have come out of this. But we have yet to find out what that answer is. And what that good is. But during this time, one of the major edits and rewrites that occurred was for the subplot Endangered Species. And we all knew that some things had to be changed around. I mean, Ian Flynn even said that. But we didn't know to what extent. We didn't know what was changed, what dialogue was changed, how it was changed, what scenes were cut out, or certain objects were cut out. Well, it seems that this inside source, if you will, basically has pointed out several things. One of the several things is the dialogue, no doubt, was changed. Certain parts of the dialogue was edited. Certain parts of the dialogue was edited to the point that that this individual who has this inside source points out that the edited dialogue wasn't written, it was computered. Now I know you're thinking, well, wait a minute, most of those rough drafts nowadays are computered anyway. That is true. Some of the dialogue is computered. There's no doubt about that. It is computed. I'm not going to deny that. But what they're talking about is the edits to the original dialogue were done with the computer. You could basically see a difference. Like there's one scene when Knuckles goes to Avalon, and he says a similar line, but with different dialogue. And the change according to this inside source, you could tell was done with computers. Like they drew in, obviously, well, of course they, okay, well, obviously they have to write in the words, like what in the bubbles and all that. That's what they need to do. Yes, the script is typed. The original script is all typed up and everything on the computer. But what they have to do is kind of write in very carefully how the script's going to, you know, where the words go into what bubbles. So anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. This inside source basically says that you could tell that there was an edit done not by hand, but by computer. Like I said, for example, the dialogue that was very similar, that Knuckles had said it was very similar, but different. But one thing that did stick out, when this person got the line art pages, or basically showcased these line art pages, these kind of like, you know, like I said, the line art, what you draw before you color in and finalize. One thing that stuck out to them, and they used some kind of little trick, it's kind of like a light trick, some like light-hearted trick, some kind of like light trick that enables you to see things possibly that were meant to be, but were edited out or erased from existence. And one thing that stood out to them, and it even stood out to the individual VDEF, I think that's their name, VDEF, who posted this link on Sonic Stadium at the link you got to click at to get to it. But apparently, it seems that when you click on this yourself, when you go to this place that has this information, this behind-the-scenes stuff, you will see that a certain Mach 2 ship, if you will, MK2 ship, was supposed to be in the story. I'm not lying, folks. It was originally supposed to be in the story. That's right. You're wondering, Mark II, is he talking about the Death Egg? Exactly. Apparently, from what this anonymous individual, and that's what I'm going to call him, the anonymous source, apparently what this person has said and was able to discover was that the Death Egg was supposed to be part of the original story arc. At least either during this situation or just leaving, just going out of sight. And I'm not lying. This is what this individual says. And I'm going to check my time here, make sure I got some time. They say, and you'll be able to read this yourself, but I'm going to give you a few examples. This is what they said. This is what this individual that gives this information said. They said, let's start out with the given baseline. As we can see in the original post, and you guys will be able to see this when you click on it, there are edits to the script that show that the lawsuit was indeed interfering with the comic. It seemed to be purely cosmic in that it was only getting rid of the word Abalon. However, when the page came in the mail, I immediately noticed a few things. And I don't know if you could see that, but give you an example of what they're talking about. I'm not sure how clearly this will come out once this is posted, since I'm not doing this in photo set format. But there are three major curiosities to be seen here. The non-photo blues notes that say has been attacked, aka what it says in the word balloon, and remove, which leads to a splotch of whiteout. The word balloon is especially noteworthy because it actually has new words glued on top of it. They're not lined. You could see that. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if I have to get over here so you can kind of see. But that's what they're talking about right there. But again, you'll be able to click on the links and see for yourself. Intriguing, I decided that this warranted further investigation. Because this kind of intrigued them. Again, I don't know if you can see that very well. It says, intriguing, I decided that this warranted further investigation. I decided to do the old light box trick and put a flashlight behind the page, directly over the areas in question. It was very, very revealing, to say the least. And if you know what they're talking about, that's what they're talking about. Over here so you can probably get a better look. The easiest specimen to examine reveals the death egg not only much closer to the foreground, but almost directly over the island of Avalon. This came through so clearly that I didn't even have to redline it. You could see exactly what it is. As for the text, it was a little more muddled. A little more muddled, if you will. Again, you guys will be able to see this yourselves. You'll get better picture quality when you click on the link, believe me. Okay, as for the text, it was a little bit more muddled. So that's when the red lines come in. Examining the word balloon from the front, I was able to make out the following. Again, I don't know if you can see that real clearly. No, forget it. I'll just let you guys click on the link. But basically, they were able to discover what they're saying is by using red line and lights, they were able to see things that were edited out. And then this is what they say. As far as I could tell, it looks like the original line was Avalon is under attack, which would make perfect sense with the death egg hovering over the island. Some of the letters were really hard to definitely make out, however, so I decided to be extra certain. Some of the letters were really hard to definitely make out, however, so I decided to be extra certain. I turned the page around and performed the same process on the reverse side. I think it's safe to say that the original line was Avalon is under attack. This has huge implications for the entire arc, because it means that we would have experienced the same assault in real time rather than long after the fact. The echidna population more than likely would have been facing its endangered species status from an entirely different perspective. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm salivating from wondering what the original story was supposed to be like. This also makes me even more curious than I already was about those pages that I pointed out as having edits in the original post. They actually did a post similar to this before this. I don't know if any of them would have had edits this extensive, since those pages were clearly part of the second draft of the story. It's just by pure lucky chance that this page has all the information it does, since it was designed in such a way that it was still salvageable for the new version. Still, it makes me wonder. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, and I'm sorry you had to wait so long for me to post it. Let's hope we can ever find out more about how long the story was going to be. And I'll get into that in the next part.